Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, it's Tuesday afternoon. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it's almost 5 o'clock already. So I'm sorry I'm missing out on Mondays. I felt badly about that, but we have a difficult schedule on some Mondays that's making it almost impossible for me to even get in my office, let alone get on line with you guys. So please hang in with me because it will end and shift back in about a month. So when Dylan goes off to college. Okay, so lots of stuff to talk about. So some cool stuff that right now we have 5 planets that are in alignment out in the solar system. You can actually see if you have a good power telescope, you can actually see a bunch of them with Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, and Venus and Mercury, all literally in a row, which is very, very cool. It has not happened since like 2005, I think. So it's really cool to go check it out if you know somebody with a telescope, or if you live like here in Orlando, we have the Science Center. They have the telescope on the roof. You can go and look, and they often will open for evening events when there's cool stuff like this going on. So you might check with your local science center or planetarium and see if they're doing something over the next couple of days. And if you know a friend with a telescope, if you live somewhere where you can get away from the city lights and you can get out into open space where there is not that light pollution, then it's really magnificent, the places that you can see. I was out in Mexico and really away from light pollution. Here in Orlando, it never gets dark. It never gets dark. Between the lights that are on from Universal over on this side of me to Disney behind me, where I live, there's light pollution all the time. And I remember, because the parks, they're not open at night, but the people are working on everything at night. So it's never dark here. And I remember in 2004, after Hurricane Charlie, because the entire city was blacked out, and it was magnificent. It was terrifying because there was no traffic signals, and you couldn't even see. It was so dark that you couldn't even see where the roads were for stop signs and things. And so, you were really driving with your bright lights on at night because, and they were telling people, stay off the roads as far as possible. But it was, but to look up at the sky in that time was pretty spectacular. And we were fortunate and unfortunate enough to live in LA during a blackout that was there, not a brownout, but an actual blackout, and to be able to see. And so if you've never had the opportunity to see the Milky Way, that really is a must-do if you can. But the planets being in alignment creates some interesting energies. But more than that is, that's always the top of everyone's list is Mercury in retrograde. And so retrograde happened yesterday, I think, and who's already feeling it? Like, show of hands. Okay, so this morning I popped the button on my pants. That's not even, like, they're not tight pants or anything. So I popped the button off, went to go get gas, forgot my wallet at home, had to go home, get my wallet, go back to the gas station. They're updating the apps on the pump, so they are not able to do with the card at the pump, and so you have to go inside, and the thing inside isn't working, and then so cash is not available because the thing isn't working, so you go to another place, and there was a whole bunch of other things happened. There's just like lots of little things. And so what happens when we get in those places especially with like Mercury in retrograde, we get this this frustration, we get this, we get short-tempered because it's like a lot of little things that are just, all of a sudden things are harder than it seems like they should be. So traffic is moving slower, people cut you off in traffic, or you get an unexpected bill, but it's like little, It's just all kinds of different things. You stub your toe, and then you stub your toe the same toe 3 times. And it's just all kinds of different things that that create frustration around us. And so it shifts our energy that we just get very frustrated of like, and we just get short-tempered with that. So one of the things that I talk about a lot with retrograde is, I think in so many, so often we see the retrograde and then we immediately like, hold on tight. And we've talked before about resisting those things, that when we put up those barriers and we're resisting this energy, so don't let the retrograde get me, that we are actually making more of that stuff come to us. And I think that that's really important to remember, that what you resist persists. And if you can be more in control of your own energy, and I just kept saying to myself today, I'm like, well, it's a retrograde. What am I going to do? And so I was supposed to meet a girlfriend over in Lakeland this morning at 10 o'clock. And I'm like, I got to get gas. I don't have enough. It's 45 minutes away each way. I said, I don't have enough gas. I need to stop and get gas. Don't have my wallet. Go home, get the wallet, go to the gas station. It's not working. I have to go to another gas station, blah, blah, blah. So I get on the road and I'm like, I'm going to be late. And she's like, oh, car, she had literally just texted me, can we meet a half hour later of when we had planned to meet, because something was going on with her. And I was like, of course. So when you are allowing the universe to work it out for you. Oh, and then we got to the Starbucks we were going to meet at, and that was the other thing that happened. We got to the Starbucks where we always meet, and the Starbucks is closed for renovations. And I'm like, neither one of us lives in the area. We don't know what's around. I'm like, all right, we'll find another Starbucks. So it was just, and it worked out. It was all fine. So when you are allowing the universe to flow, even though Mercury may be trying to screw with you, just be cool and let it flow, and it will pass. And so we met a little later. It was fine. We talked a little longer. We had a lovely morning. It was a great conversation, as it always is. And then, we both came back and went on our days. So just try not to get caught up in the drama of the retrograde, and try not to get caught up in the protecting ourself mode, because then we create that energetic barrier and we really draw more of that chaos to us. So the new moon is in Cancer, and we're really about half a week out, maybe almost a full week away from where the actual new moon was. And so in the new moon, our energies are now going up to the full moon. Energy is going up, and the new moon is in Cancer. And so this is all about healing relationships. This is a great time for food if you're a food person. So we had over the July 4th weekend, but this is a great time for healing relationships. And there's a whole lot of clearing toxicity that's going on right now. We are being made to feel uncomfortable with certain people or situations around us until we're finally, it's like this itch, until we finally are like, ah! Okay, so there's a lot of this clearing of toxicity that's happening right now, and a lot of this is coming from the things that have been so rooted and so attached to us that either we've just made endless excuses for the behavior, or we've just allowed things, and so the people or that situation have gotten so ingrained and attached to us that the universe is having to like pull these things off like one tendril at a time to extricate these toxic situations from our world, from our space. So be very aware of that, because if you feel like you're just constantly being aggravated by somebody or something over and over and over again, and it's just like every time that name pops up, or that you go to that place, that situation, just you're reminded, and you just get that knot in your stomach, and you're just like, I wish I did not have to deal with this crap anymore. This is a really big sign that the universe is really trying to get you to clear this away. And I really encourage you to allow that to happen. And sometimes with people who are people who are close to us, you may not be able to say, like, if it was your mother, and it's not my mother, but if it was your mother, just to say as an example that you may not be able to completely cut the ties with her, but you certainly can temper what you share. You can maybe budget your time with that person. You can, pull yourself back so you're not as available, and certainly not as open with them as you may have been before. Just things that you can do to protect yourself going forward. And so remember that the best thing in these situations, when it really feels like the universe is trying to push you one way or the other, is to allow it, because then this is where the universe is really trying to clear things away for us, and to really create that place of blessing, and to clear a space so something better can come in to fill that space. The universe hates a vacuum. So if they take something away, if the universe is taking something away from you, something else is coming in. But we've got to be open and have that positive expectancy, because the universe has always got our back, always. Even in the crappy stuff, it's moving us forward for something good. So allow those negative things to be removed, and let those things happen so that the universe can bring in something better for you. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of questions about the retrograde. So that's really what I wanted to spend a few minutes. I'm not an astrologer. I don't know enough. I'm learning and I'm enjoying, but I'm not, astrology is not my deal, but I do research, and I do like to know what's going on, and I'm so happy to share with you guys the things that I've learned, but because I think it's really important, and I think that really truly, because Mercury goes retrograde so damn often, that it's so important to learn to just ride the wave and allow the universe to prune those things away from us, because it just creates so much more opportunity for growth and for love to come in. So I had a laugh because, the cards are always right. The cards are always right. And so I had already planned that I needed to have this conversation with you guys today. And so when I went and I picked the cards, here's the card number 1, clear your space. And I just had a laugh, because I was like, well, if that is not the truth of this new moon in Cancer, I don't know what else is. It is pulling people away. It is clearing crap out of my life. I hope it is doing it for you. And that it is just pulling things away to clear and create an avenue for more joy, and an avenue for more peace, and less stress and aggravation. And I know the irony of saying that on the heels of a Mercury retrograde. I get it, but part of that is around personal disciplines, to be able to say, I'm not going to buy into that, every person that cuts me off in traffic, I'm not going to get all mad with them, because it just makes it worse, right? So just allowing. And so I was really just loving this part of clear your space. So clear your space, whether that's clutter around you, clear your desk, clear your office, clear your home, to get rid of stuff, or like right now my dining table is filled with stuff that's going to go in Dylan's dorm room, so I want to start putting that in boxes so I can get that off my dining table, because when I look at it, it's like, so for lots of reasons. But clearing the space allows you to have a more free flow of energy, and allows your brain to be able to hear the guidance from spirit a little more clear. And then, you can't make this stuff up. Overcoming difficulties. So this next card. So here we are, Mercury retrograde, right? Starting on Monday. So here we are, overcoming difficulties. And so I feel like we've kind of talked about this. The more that you are getting caught up in that energy and resisting it, the more stuff's going to just be like knocking you on the head. So just relax, let the universe sort it, let it flow, let the people who removed, let the situations be resolved, and allow yourself the opportunity to know when it's time to walk away, because sometimes it's just time to walk away from that situation. And I think sometimes we have the best of intentions, but to be able to say, this is enough, I've had enough, this is no longer productive, and to be able to walk away. So this is the time to put self-care as a priority, and to be able to clear the clutter from your mind, from your heart, from the toxicity that's around you, so that you can really hear the higher guidance that's trying to come through for you, and so that you can really honor yourself and your spirit to follow the path for you. It opens up the opportunity for you to have more self-care. Self-care is self-love. You've got to take care of you, whether that's grounding or a bath or meditation, breathing, something. You need things that are for you. Healthy eating, exercise, all of those things. But clearing that energy off of you, you've got to take care of you. So I love this. I love this card also because this is Hamuel, who's Archangel Hamuel. I love him. He is he's someone who helps with finding lost things. And it was Hamuel that helped to cultivate the relationship with between me and my son Matthew, who's in spirit. And so whenever I see his name pop up, it just makes my heart happy. So it says, I am helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. And understand that that may be you're a human, it may be yourself. Your soulmate relationship, especially spiritual soulmate relationship, so often is that connection of being able to hear and connect to our own higher self and our own higher guidance, and being able to tap into that. So those are the cards for the week, and I just love, of course, that it always is exactly perfect. So clear your space, overcome the difficulties, and beloved one, taking time for you, taking self-care. So here's our postcard. It says, dearest you, on earth, and I remember I just pulled these, I asked them to send me the right one. I don't ever pre-read them, so, and it's always remarkable to me that they're exactly the right one, always. So, dearest you, on earth, humans learn about life by telling stories and creating new ones based on shared experiences. Eventually, after repeating one often enough, it becomes your main story that you use to define yourself in the world. So to get to the answers you seek, you must get vulnerable and hear your story when you tell it. Ask, why do you tell it? Is it really true? What else can be true? Can you see the truth that spirit is in all things? Do you see how other stories overlap and intertwine? Spirit loves stories, for they are like blueprints for co-creation. So tell the one we know to be true about you, a story of courage, gratitude, and honesty. Tell an empowered story about well-being and wisdom and grace. You will experience your world according to the story you tell about it. So make sure that they are stories you can be proud of. Genuinely loving you, fan club. So, so if you are clearing your space, you're more able to help cultivate that relationship with your higher and know yourself to tell your true story more effectively, and stuff that is true in your heart, true in your soul, that makes such a huge difference. So I wish you a wonderful, beautiful week. Hang in there. And just remember, Mercury retrograde is a choice. It is. It's a choice. So you can surf the wave or you can let it drown you. So please, please choose to surf. Please choose to surf. There's no reason that you need to let it overwhelm you. Please choose to surf. It is simply about letting it carry you on to your next step, because it really will take you to something better, and everything will be okay if you let it. So choose not to guard up and put the bars up and to resist it. Okay, choose to let it flow. Let the Mercury retrograde wackadoodle crap just let it work itself out. It's usually just very short little detours that it could be just annoying as hell, but just let the little wackadoodle things just work themselves out, because they will. Be patient, take a breath, make sure you spend some time self-care. Have a great week. Thanks for spending some time. Send some comments. I love reading your comments. If you like this video, feel free to share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube or subscribe here. And have a great week. But send your comments. I love reading your comments. I try to reply to every single one of them. Have a great week.